Navigate to the System Setup menu, find the Model Utilities, and pick Create New Model. Make the model type be quadcopter. Go down to F-mode setup. The concept of flight modes is a needless complication, but we have to use this screen to attach a switch to aux channels. I inhibit the flight mode switch because I don't want to think about which flight mode the transmitter is in. I just want to think about switching the state of the quad. Scroll down to Channel Inhibit and click it. I know that doesn't seem intuitive, but this is what I've had to do. In the Channel Input Config screen, I select switch D as the input for channel 5. D will be the group switch. I select switch I as the input for channel 6. That will be the pre-arm switch. There are a couple things that might be confusing about this. This should be possible from the channel assign menu option, but that doesn't work. That also opens a screen labeled Channel Input Config, but that screen looks different and seems to have no effect on the actual outputs, and I don't know why that is. So I'll just go through the flight mode menu. Checking the work we've done so far, we'll go back to the main screen, roll the wheel one click to the right to see the monitor screen. And when we move the D switch, it should jump between the values of -100, 0, and 100. Pushing the I button jumps between -100 and 100. Now we'll do travel adjustment, or changing the endpoints as it's also known. I have a separate video explaining why this has to be done, but the short story is that to get full signal range in Betaflight, we need to increase the travel endpoints in the Spectrum radio to 147. From the main screen, click the wheel once, scroll down to Control Setup, and change all the 100s into 147s. We'll go back to the monitor screen now to see all the values ranging from -147 to +147. A little while ago, I wanted you to remember the numbers 88, -29, and -147. I calculated those values to be the unmodified values of aux1 for the 3 positions of the group switch. But the monitor page just told us that that switch is putting out -147, 0, and +147. So here's how I'm going to change that to -147, -29, and 88. From the main screen, click the wheel and scroll down to Digital Switch Setup. Scroll down to highlight Select and click. The box should blink. Flip the D switch or scroll to select D. Notice the values here are 100%, 0%, and -100%. You might think, hey, didn't we just make the endpoints 147 and -147? Well, we did. What we're looking at here is different. These numbers say how much of that maximum value, 147, to be sent at each position of this switch. But we didn't calculate those numbers in percent, so let's do that now. 88 is about 60% of 147. I'll set this to position 0, which is fully up, the position I want for the crash group. -29 is about -20% of 147. I'll set this value to position 1, which is in the middle, and that's the position I want for the flight group. And of course, -147 is -100% of 147, so that position I'll just leave at -100%. Let's go to the monitor and make sure that those changes worked. And now what we see is we have negative 147, negative 29, and 88, which is just what we wanted. Now it's time to program the other switches to modify these values using the mixing functions of the DX6. If you didn't know, mixing allows one input source to affect the output of another input source. The first mixers I ever heard about were mechanical devices in airplanes, but the mixing we're doing here is all in software. From the main screen in the DX6, press the scroll wheel and scroll down to select Mixing. The multi-rotor type in the DX6 provides 5 programmable mixes. I'm going to use one each for the 3 switches that modify the group switch signal on aux1, and another to use the throttle position to modify aux2. Programming a mix consists of several choices. Pick the source and the target of the mix, pick the magnitude of the mix, and then set the conditions under which the mix will be effective.